Are you having difficulty controlling your anger? Do others around you tell you that your anger is bad and that you have to get it under control? Or maybe you're someone who needs to get angry, but you just can't. Maybe it's there, but you don't know how to get it out. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to release your anger in 3 steps. So let's get started. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here right now because I care about what you're working through. My name is Carol and I'm a life coach for carolcares.com who helps all teens and young adults work through their mental health challenges. If you are thinking about self-harming right now, please hit the video link above at any time during this video. I know that a lot of you are struggling with your anger and you have a lot of confusion around it. And maybe some of you are actually scared of your own anger. And I totally get that. And I really want to help you understand what is going on with you if you'll let me. Now, some of you might know a little bit about my background. I had a very traumatic childhood, and throughout the last few years of my healing, I needed to get in touch with my anger from childhood. And I talk about this in my first video on anger called The Truth About Your Anger. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to watch it after this video. I'll link it at the end for you. In that video, I talked about how I could easily get angry at people around me, but I couldn't get angry at my abusers from childhood. I just couldn't express my anger. And I came to understand that in order to heal from my childhood trauma, I had to release my anger because underneath all of it was another layer of emotions that I didn't even know I had. So I essentially had to learn how to get angry. I had to learn how to release my anger in a safe and controlled environment so that I could release what was underneath it. You see, what people don't understand is that you need to get angry, and you have every right to get angry. You've been told by others and society that your anger is bad and you need to control it. Anger is not a bad emotion. It's a very natural emotion. And you're not a bad person for getting angry. It's very normal to get angry. And if you are someone who can't get angry, I want to show you how to get in touch with your anger so that you can allow it to release. Trying to shut down your anger or ignore it just makes everything worse. I think you know that because you've already tried that too many times. Your health can suffer. This can lead to anxiety, headaches, stomach problems, or some of you will become so angry with yourself and you'll struggle with your self-esteem. And then this just leads to depression. So you end up creating this cycle of frustration with yourself and others around you. When you learn how to release your anger in a safe way, you will actually get anger on your side. And you won't have to wait till it erupts all of a sudden around other people. Now, many of you are probably wondering, why do I need to even allow my anger to release in a safe way? Why can't I just release it when it wants to come out? And that's a great question. Let me explain a bit further. I think you will agree with me that we all get angry for different reasons. What makes you angry may not make someone else angry. Why is that? Why is that all of a sudden you fly off the handle about something when someone else doesn't react at all? There has to be a reason, and there is. So I want to tell you something about your anger that maybe you're hearing for the first time. So I'd like you to listen carefully because this explains why anger is so powerful if you can get it on your side. If you can allow your anger to release in a safe and controlled setting where you get to choose when, where, and how it is done, you're going to discover that there are other emotions that are hiding underneath your anger. Anger helps us to cover up what is really bothering us. And sometimes we don't even know what it is ourselves. And sometimes we don't want to feel what is really bothering us. So the easiest way to get out of it is to just get angry. It's like anger is an automatic go-to emotion. It's just easier to get angry than to face what is really bothering you. So when you push down your anger or you try to control it, you're actually pushing down everything that is underneath it. The more you shove it down or try to control it, it just builds up more and more until you finally explode. And that's when your anger becomes dangerous because it can hurt others and yourself when I know that's not what you really want to happen. You want to get angry and you have every right to get angry. And believe me, I know what it feels like to want to get your anger out on someone else. but we both know it just hurts too many people. And that's including yourself. And a lot of times we don't mean to hurt others, but things just happen and people get hurt. And in order to find out what or who is really making you angry, you have to allow your anger to release in order to find out what is underneath it. So what I want to teach you in this video, step by step, is how to release your anger in a safe and controlled environment where you have total control over the situation and where you will not harm yourself or anyone else. And once you discover what other emotions are actually hiding underneath this anger, you are going to finally get to understand what is really going on with you. Then you can make some significant changes in your life by dealing with those emotions that have been hidden underneath your anger all this time. So here's how to release your anger in 3 steps. Step 1, I want you to get physical with your anger. This is the most powerful and effective technique that I want everyone to try. It really helped me to bring up my anger quickly. And remember, I'm someone that has difficulty expressing my anger. So I want you to physically express your anger in a controlled and safe setting. By this I mean that you're not going to harm yourself or anyone else in any way. So let me give you some suggestions on how to do that. The first thing I do is I punch a pillow. Now, I used to use this method quite often. I take a pillow, bunch it up in a ball, hold it close to my chest, and with my fist, I just punched as hard as I could into the pillow. Now, I kept doing this as long as I could until I could feel that anger coming out. And that's how you're going to let go of that anger. Now, you might have to punch harder or longer until you feel it coming up. Some of you might have the luxury of having a punching bag. So I want you to go at it. And I want you to punch the crap out of that punching bag like you would the pillow. Let that anger release. Once you've done some punching, try to get in touch with what you're feeling. Maybe it's fear. Don't be surprised if some of you start to cry. That's an emotion that can be hidden underneath it. So take some time to allow that emotion to release. Try not to judge yourself. Just let everything come up that needs to come up. Don't second guess what you're feeling. Let your emotions go where they want to go. Keep punching until you feel that you've had enough. The second way you can get physical with your anger is to hit a mattress. Now, get yourself an old tennis racket that no one wants anymore. So you might have to ask around and use that to hit your mattress with it. Now, you might even use a baseball bat. Again, you're getting angry in a controlled setting. You don't want to hurt yourself. There are times when I felt like punching or smashing my hand on something so hard, and I have at times, but you can really hurt your hand doing that. So that's why I try to go to something just a little bit softer now. I even remember walking down a nature trail where I was surrounded by a lot of trees, and I could just feel my anger wanting to come up. So I looked around to see if anybody was watching first, and I knew I just needed to get angry, and this was the perfect time and place. So I picked up this branch and I began to swing at the tall weeds around me and the trees. Again, to others it may have looked really reckless, but I knew I wasn't damaging the tree bark in any way, and it felt so good just to release my anger and let it out, and I actually was crying at the same time. Another way you can release your anger is just to scream at the top of your lungs when you're home alone or maybe in a car. Scream into a pillow. Just get it out. That's all that matters. So once you've found the way that really works for you, I want you to do it as often as you can. Remember, there will be other emotions that are underneath your anger. So if they come up, you can look at ways to deal with them or even watch other videos that I've put out about those emotions. Now let's look at another way to release your anger. And I always use this technique as well. Step 2, I want you to journal from your anger. Now journaling is a great way to get your anger out. If you are new to journaling or you've not seen my video on how to journal, I will link it at the end as well. Now, when you journal for anger, your journaling can go 2 ways, and I want you to remember that. So you may find that you will release your anger at someone else or yourself. Let's take a look at what it looks like when you get angry at someone else. So let me start off with one of the best ways to get angry at someone. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write a letter to this person, and you're going to tell them how much you hate them. Now, the first sentence could be something like, I hate you because... And I want you to use as many curse words as possible. I want you to call this person all kinds of mean names if you want. You can repeat yourself as many times as you want, but the point is just to keep writing. Don't stop. Just let the hate messages flow. Now, I'm going to warn you that for some of you, you may feel that there's not enough hate words in the dictionary to express your anger. So I want you to go ahead and pound on those keys as you type, or press really hard when you write. And if you put a hole in the page, that's great. Now, some of you will actually have a really difficult time writing this letter. Some of you may not even want to write this letter. You might feel guilty, or you might think that this is being too mean. But remember, no one else has to see this letter. So in fact, I don't want you to send it, but I want you to write it. Now, some of you may find when you start writing that you may actually get angry at yourself first, and that's okay. That's perfectly normal. You can write all your hate emotions at yourself on the page. Remember, you're expressing your anger at you first. So you may be surprised that underneath all that anger, you have other emotions. So these are the emotions that need to be expressed as well. And some of you may feel like you need to cry. Go ahead, cry. Some of you may feel that you need to get physically angry at this point, and you can. And now you know how to do it in a safe way. So I want you to remember that when you get angry at yourself, it can be really uncomfortable. You're actually telling yourself how much you hate yourself, and that's hard. So just remember this as you're writing, but keep the writing flowing. Emotions will start to come up for you, and that's what's going to be really, really healing for you. If you aren't sure about how to get started with your journaling, you can go to my website, carolcares.com, and I will send you 7 pages of writing prompts for free on different topics when you subscribe to the website. Now it's going to look like this, so let's take a look here. Remember, a writing prompt is the first sentence that you can use to begin your journaling. And at the right, I also give you a sample paragraph to show you how to write from that writing prompt, or write from the emotion that you are feeling. So I will scroll through the topics. And now let's go to the writing prompts that I have for anger. I'm going to select the writing prompt, I am so angry right now, and I'm going to use it as the first sentence in my journal like this. I am so angry right now, I could just punch someone. I effing hate that person. They deserve to die. I want to kill them. I want to punch them out so bad. I can't stand them. I'm so effing angry right now. Who do they think they are, saying or doing that to me? I want to punch them so badly. I just want to kill them. I'm so angry I could just cry. And maybe it's here where you have to stop your writing and cry. And this writing will continue to go on as long as you want it to. And it will take you in all different directions. As I've said in all my other videos, I can't live without my journaling. It has been my #1 tool to help me get through whatever challenge I'm facing. I really encourage you to watch the video on journaling that I've linked below if you haven't started journaling yet. And now the final step, step 3. I want you to release your anger creatively or through exercise. So you can release your anger in a creative way. There are so many of you that are very creative. So let your anger out by releasing it through art or music or poetry. You decide. Others may want to work out to release their anger. Get to the gym, lift some heavy weights, or go for a run or a walk. Go play a sport if you can. Go shoot some baskets and throw the ball hard against the backboard or a wall. Hit some balls with a bat or swing at some golf balls. Again, with this step, the main thing is that you find an outlet to release your anger. It needs to be released from your system. Your goal here with these steps is to find some way for you to release your anger in a safe place where you're not putting yourself or anyone else in danger. I don't want you to wait until someone brings you to that breaking point where your anger just totally takes over. This is not what you want. I've given you the tools to work through this on your own. So now take some time and find a way to release your anger from your system. You can do this. I promise you that if you take the time to get it out of your system on your own, you will find that you won't be nearly as angry when this stuff comes up. And finally, if you are really struggling and you need to talk to someone, please do that. Get yourself some help somehow. Maybe there's a youth worker or a teacher at school who can help you. Some of you may want to see a therapist to help you work through your anger. Now, until next time, if you have any further questions about anger or any other challenges that you may be experiencing right now, you can fill out a form on my website, carolcares.com, under the Ask Carol page. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram. And please let others know about my channel so they can get the help that they need. And as always, remember to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through and stay safe. Bye for now.